All right, guys, today we got a special guest in the house, infamous for being polarizing with the audience. You either love her or hate her, but it seems, but I love her. She's always entertaining and is never afraid to speak her mind. I'm talking about the one and only Tina Torres. The undisputed champ.
What's good, Panda?
Oh, it's all good. How you doing today?
Fantastic.
Yo, before we go on that, you got a show on Friday, right?
Yes, in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So how's that going to be like?
It's going to be dope. So I rock with this crew called Underground Advocates, and it's a bunch of us independent artists. We have no corporate backing. We got no funding whatsoever, and we're just like guerrilla style. We go out and rock.
So if you guys are in the Atlanta area, where's it going to be at?
Underground Atlanta at a venue called Mom Said It's Fine, Masquerade, I think, if people in Atlanta know that.
You have a lot of people in the Atlanta area?
I have some people there. Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Well, I'm excited to hear that you out here doing shows. And then I know that recently you had a situation as well with a wedding gig, right?
Yes.
So what was that like? And what did you learn from that situation?
Well, that's really what I didn't want to do, because initially when I left that whole industry, it was because of unfortunate circumstances and I was kind of like forced to leave and I chose to, leave myself. But then I was, for years, I've just been like, man, maybe I, could have found success and joy in that. And then going back and doing it again, I'm like, you know what? I find no joy. I find no fun in this. So I'm out. And I thank God for the clarity.
So yeah, just a reminder that this wasn't for you at all.
Yep. Like you think as a singer, you would like to just be singing all the time, right? That's not the case because especially as a performer and then like a kind of a wedding singer is a low level performer. Let's just, it's just the truth. You're not treated you're not treated the best and you're taken advantage of a lot. And, you're never enough for people in that industry because they try to fit you into this mold. So, right, I'm this Latin girl, right? They try to fit me into. I got to show up on a gig and sing like Shakira and J-Lo songs, and like it's a bunch of BS. And they try to like typecast us. And then every now and then they'll let me sing other songs or whatever. But it's like it's really at the end of the day, it's work. You know what I mean? And every singer that does that has to be honest. In the middle of the gig, you're like, how many more songs? How many, you know what I mean? Like, it's really not that fun. And, when you're constantly having to cater to very wealthy people and doing the same weddings over and over and over and over again, it's a broken record.
It gets old real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you have a hard time being an attractive female in any industry, whether it's the makeup field, whether it's, being a wedding singer, being an actual artist. What can you explain to the people? Because I feel like a lot of times the point of view is like, oh, she's good looking, so it's easier for her to get ahead. But they only look at one side of it. They don't look at the other side of certain things that you have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, the looks might get you in the door. You know what I mean? But then you get other energies that because of the way you look, they want to test you and they want to treat you a certain way. And that actually you actually get treated more poorly than you do well looking, you know what I mean? Like a star in that realm, and then just like, the last company that I worked for, because I showed up with this red hair and the $7,000 Swarovski dress, in her mind, she's like, I need to hang on to this and not allow her to see her worth and her value so that I can continue booking my clients. And because my video wasn't shown at a party for an entire year, in my head, I thought I performed poorly. And mentally, I declined. And so it's like, yeah, your value and your worth is there, but then people don't want you knowing that too, because they want to, shortcut you and all kinds of stuff. And not even just that, not even just money, but even personal reasons. People have their own insecurities and they see you showing up with all this confidence and youth and enthusiasm and spirit, and they just hate it. So your mediocre people and I'm just going to say it, your mediocre looking people, your mediocre talent, they actually end up going further. That actually happens in the music industry too. You know what I mean?
That's true. That is true. So it's not even just men that are mistreating you in various ways. It's even the females in the
Oh yeah.
industry.
Oh
That's
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
So as far as like, the men's side of things, you probably get hit on all the time. You know what I mean? People try to like make advances towards you. Like, can you talk about that? Like how you have to deal with that and shut people down all the time?
Well, when you're in the middle of a situation, you just laugh it off sometimes. You know what I mean? There have been situations where I'm like, no, fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And I speak up, but it's very uncomfortable. It is and you're like, it's like, oh man, this again? You got to go through this. You got to like, I can't just be here and you can't just, have me here just for my talent and all that. You got to take it further like that, And then as an empath, I can even feel what they're thinking, So it's just like, it's rough.
Yeah, so like, do you ever have like moments where you're thinking this person's actually interested in my talent, and then all of a sudden, like, you're revealed with the truth, like, no, it's just another situation, like they want to sleep with me.
Yeah, and then it's caused me to think low of myself because I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not that talented. You know what I mean? And I'm getting back to my confidence level because I am talented. You know what I mean? Like people haven't even seen the range and scope of my talent on social media. They don't know truly what I can do. Show up to a show and you'll see me more in my element, but you're not going to see that in these little squares.
Do you think that because you're so outspoken and that you've been, vocalizing your displeasure for the industry, that people use that as like a shield instead of being able to truly see your talent for what it is?
They use what as a shield?
Like the fact that you're so outspoken, that you share your feelings on all these things that happen on in the industry, you expose stuff. So they like, they criticize you and they kind of dismiss your talent.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was it? What was the actual question though? My comprehension levels are.
No, just like, because they get mad at the fact that you're exposing the industry, so they hate on you and they don't really appreciate your talent for what it is.
Oh yeah. It's overlooked because of that. Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then it's easy to like, you know what I mean? It's because there are so many talented people out here. There are so many incredible singers. It's kind of easy to just like write me off. But the thing is, I have a package that nobody out here has. You know what I mean? Like, I might not be able to sing like Whitney Houston, but what I do in my entirety is incredible, I must say.
Elaborate on that. How do you feel that you are different overall as a package?
I come with me as the spirit being that I am. One, nobody is me. Two, my image. You know what I mean? Nobody out here looks like me. I mean, you can kind of maybe fabricate my image. They ended up making Ariana Grande kind of look like me after the years because the whole ponytail and all that. Like, I've had that look since like 2012. Right. And no surgery on the face either. You know what I mean? Ariana Grande didn't look like me before she had surgery. Just saying.
I just saw a clip of her recently talking about like, she did have fillers. She did have all these things.
Yeah,
and then
that's like $250,000 on her face. She also had the ponytail. No, so the ponytail lift to lift the eyes, the lip injections, and she had probably had a nose job. You could definitely tell she had a nose job. You know what I mean? So her eyes used to be droopy, and all of a sudden now they're lifted.
It's funny though, because the video I saw, she was like denying the nose, and she was saying like they were talking about all these different procedures, and she was like, "What is that? I've never heard of that." She's like, "Oh, I'm kind of interested now."
Dios. Come on, Hollywood. Like they gotta fucking give up the fucking ghost, man. The people are too hip now. Come on.
Don't you think that it's a little boring now though? Like, because like, it's like everybody almost like goes for a similar look as a female. You know what I mean? Yes, like a lot of people like kind of have this like mold of like, I don't know if it's kind of Kardashian like, it's kind of like trying to look, how like when people are different ethnicities, you can appreciate different qualities about people, like, oh, yes, this is kind of reminiscent of that. But now it's like you can't even really identify some people now because everybody
Yeah.
is going after these same qualities, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because all these women are taking photos of Kim Kardashian and like, I want to look like this to the surgeon. So, and they're all wanting to embody the energy and all of that, and that's what they're doing. So we have, you know, a bunch of Kim Kardashian clones walking around out here.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I was at the grocery store yesterday and I saw this girl with a big fake ass and like wearing this tight little thing, and I was like, yo, this is wild in here at the fucking grocery store. You know, like it just looks out of place. It looks obtrusive. It looks like clownery. It's just, it's got to stop.
Yeah. And, you know, I think the sadder thing is that like the people are getting surgeries even younger and younger and younger, right? It's like before people thought like, oh, you get Botox when you get older because you don't want to have wrinkles show and everything. But now it's like, I don't know, 17, 18. It's like, you know, people are already doing it.
Yep. Yeah. They're restructuring their faces. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, speaking about harassment and, you know, those type of things, as many people predicted, Diddy has been arrested. What was your reaction when it happened?
I was like, yo. I'm like, wow, you know, like, wow.
But you were expecting it though, right? You were expecting it to happen?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting it. Nope.
Wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why weren't you expecting it?
Well, because, you know, you see these Hollywood people get away with stuff all the time, you know, and it just was unexpected and it popped up. But now that it popped up, I'm like, okay, now I see where everything's going.
Okay. So it was exposed that they found 2 AR-15s with the serial number scratched off, tons of devices with videos from the freak-offs, and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What did you think when they revealed what was found?
Yo, the baby oil is the craziest.
Did you hear the lawyer try to explain why he had that much baby oil?
No, what did he say?
He said that, well, you know, he there's a Costco down the street and you know, he might want to buy things in bulk. And then Costco came out and was all like, we don't even carry baby oil. They were pissed that they even was included in the conversation of
They're
that.
Like, don't bring us in this.
I mean, why do you even need that much baby oil? That's just crazy.
Because when you're taking drugs and drinking a lot of alcohol, everything's dried up.
Yo, when they arrested him, they said that they found drugs in his hotel room too. They found a pink powder. You know what I mean? Like, that's so crazy. And then like,
what is pink powder?
I don't know what type of substance it is. I forget exactly, but yeah, like it's a lot of people have been saying that people that are close to him have stated that he has a drug issue. Like he legitimately has a drug problem.
Of course he does. You know what I mean? When you're consuming drugs that regularly, you're going to become addicted.
But doesn't it make you kind of like wonder, like, how do you become that successful and be productive while you're consuming substances constantly like that?
Oh, there are people that do it. The billionaires of the world. That's what they do, you know? And it was like, I was in New Orleans like years ago and I met like all these nurses and firefighters. And like, you know, I was hanging out with them and we all got like, you know, super wasted or whatever. And they're like, hey, we can come and IV you up. They're like, we do this to Diddy all the time because they were from Miami. So I found this out years ago that they were the nurses that were going to Diddy's house and, you know, pumping him with IVs and everything. So that's how you do it. You know what I mean? The average person is not going to be able to bring nurses to their home in the morning to like, you know, nutrient you up.
But how do you keep things like this quiet for so many years? Because they say it's been going on forever, right? Like, how do you keep that many people quiet for that long?
A lot of fear, because Hollywood has been a culture of fear, and it's mind control. That's what it is. When you sexually abuse someone, it is scientifically proven that is mind control, and automatically fear is instilled. You become paralyzed. You become mentally paralyzed. I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of damage, a lot of psychological damage.
It's terrible because like I've known people that have, had those type of experiences, and it's almost like a lifetime of, pain that you sentence somebody to. It
Yep.
really affects all of their relationships, whether they get married, they have kids and stuff. Like, they really feel like you've taken something not just from them, but from the people that are in their lives, because they can't provide whether full intimacy or, these type of
Yeah.
things. It's
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at the Menendez brothers. I've been following this story for the longest time. And now, we have this series on Netflix. If you really watch it, and even not just the show, but like you go like listen to them in person, it's they went, and their father was a music executive, and he was accused for abusing one of the kids from Menudo. So this is stuff that continuously goes on in
common
Hollywood in the
practice.
music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's regular.
So, early predictions, who do you think is on tape with Diddy doing all of that? Because there was a lawyer that came out and said that they've seen the tape that is being shopped around, right? And it's somebody that's even more famous than Diddy that is on that tape.
It's got to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. Hey.
Do you
Yes,
really
baby,
think so?
let's go.
You really think that is them?
Yep. 100,000, 125,000, 100, the millionaire percent, sure. The millionaire.
That's just, why do you think Jay-Z and Beyonce would participate in something like that with
Because
Diddy,
that's what they do. This is their magic sex practice. Aleister Crowley, go learn about sex magic from Aleister Crowley. The orgies, they all come together. The Kundalini energy comes all together, and they do the shit together. And it's like fucking, it's what they do.
So do you think, who else do you think that could potentially be on there?
Well, for sure, like people like Naomi Campbell, and who's also connected to Epstein, by the way, and Ghislaine Maxwell. So, and Diddy is basically just the Black Epstein. You know what I mean? It's like the story coming out all over again. So it's like, we got to figure out what's going on behind the scenes and not just take things at face value. Who else do I think? Obviously, Cassie was there. She was victimized heavy. Chris Brown could be all up in that mix. Oh, Rihanna for sure too.
Rihanna, you think so? Really?
Yeah. LeBron. I think LeBron.
LeBron?
I think LeBron.
He's like had like the most successful career without like any like major public kind of situation of like, you know what I mean? Like, why do you think
he's got great PR? Because he's that successful and that connected. You know what I mean? When you're that successful and like that, if you read the guy's energy, he's fake all day, every day. LeBron ain't no like good person. People need to learn to read energy and feel vibration. They really, look at, he built a school. Oh my God, he's a basketball champ. Read energy. Read energy.
Who else do you think could possibly be on tape?
It's a good question.
Like the DJ Khaled's and them and stuff. Like, you think that?
Oh, Khaled, Fat Joe. Oh, J-Lo too. J-Lo's up in that shit for sure. I forgot about her. We're forgetting about her.
So do you think that all of this has been happening since they were even dating previously, like back in the day? Like, you think Diddy's been doing it that long?
Yes. Diddy was, Andre Harrell brought him under, took him to Clive. Clive is the reptilian that, penetrated them all, went portal hold them all, and then sent them out into the industry to go and, do the work of the industry.
What do you think about the Dawn Richard lawsuit? Because the lawsuit says he was assaulting her from like early on, and she's worked with him as recent as last year on his Love album.
She just collected a check last minute and just deciding to. She's grimy. You could tell.
So you don't think that any of that stuff happened in her lawsuit?
I mean, I'm sure she was definitely a part of all that. Like, but I just, she doesn't, to me, if you vibrationally feel her and Cassie feels more like a victim than Dawn. Dawn seems more like she was down with the shit. Like, like Carisha.
So you think
but
that
not ratchet out there like Carisha, but you know what I mean?
you think that this is an opportunist kind of move for her then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know a lot of people are questioning like the legitimacy of the lawsuit, or even saying like, because it's like, you just worked with him even just recently. Like, why would you keep working with him? It wasn't like you were um under contract or anything. Like
Yeah, she should have just kept her mouth shut right now. You know what I mean? But she's making herself, either way, it's a lose-lose for her either way.
So you don't think that she's going to win that lawsuit with him?
She could possibly win it. Yeah. The court systems are corrupt. Our entire judicial system is a complete farce.
Yeah, because I know people are wondering, like, they weren't like in a romantic relationship, but it's like if it's true, then like why keep coming back to him? It's different than like you're with somebody and you keep on coming back to your abuser in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But in the lawsuit, she talks about the Diddy Dirty Money group that she was in with Kalina Harper, right? The other girl in the group. And she was saying that they both were present for a lot of situations where, Diddy was beating on Cassie, or, the times that I think she even got touched by Diddy. And she was saying that Kalina was there. And then did you see Kalina come out and deny all that? She was saying like, oh, I understand Dawn has her own experience, but I was not present for any of these things. And then we find out that Diddy actually called her like 50 something times after the lawsuit had came out. So that's why the courts are kind of like saying that this is possible, like witness tampering. That like so he called so many times, because you don't call somebody 50 something times, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of crazy. Like if you call like even like a couple times, that's like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially after the whole events.
Right. and then like you have like other people at like other podcasts saying like, oh, it's okay that he called her that many times. I'm like, bro, like you trying to like defend him, really? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Like you should never call somebody 50 times.
Are these Illuminati CIA podcasts?
I don't know. I mean, some people could kind of,
just a question.
But yeah, that's just crazy, man. So the situation with Dawn, I know like Aubrey O'Day, right? She was in Danny the
Aubrey's
King
been speaking for years.
Right. And I even remember back in the day when Making the Band was going on and she got kicked out of the group, there was rumors that she denied Diddy's advances, and that's why he was upset with her.
Yep.
So it's kind of crazy. But even speaking about Making the Band, like I remember watching Making the Band 2, and like he's having like one of his assistants like interview the contestants, and they're interviewing this girl, and he's like on an earpiece like telling them what questions to ask, and he's all like, ask her if she has a boyfriend. And the girl says, oh, I do have a boyfriend. And he turns and looks at the camera all disappointed. And it's like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So you think that the situation with Dawn could possibly go somewhere, but you think she's more of an opportunist than anything?
Yeah. Like, vibrationally, Cassie, like I said, I want to reiterate, Cassie feels more like a victim. Dawn seems more like, she was along for the ride. And you know what? I could be wrong. I would like to leave with saying this. I want to leave a margin of error, So I could be wrong on this.
But somebody like her, right? It seems like she was practicing what a lot of people practice in the music industry, of like turning the other cheek when they see something they may not fully agree with, because this person in this position of power could help me with my career. And if they seem kind to me, maybe they're not so bad after all, right? Like, but for you, like you could never see things like that and do that.
No. Oh, no. But the one little thing happened to me. That was it. I was out. If I had seen in my presence and seeing someone abused, oh no. I will kick and buck for another human being, especially a good human being. You know what I mean? When I see injustice.
Why do you think that people are so willing? Are they that desperate to try to make it in a field that is as competitive as the music industry? Or do you think that a lot of these people are already morally corrupt?
No, listen, we all have light and dark in us. And at every moment, we have a choice. Even now, I have a choice to choose this path or that path, because at the end of the day, it's all one anyway, but it's all embedded within me. So I don't think we are all innately evil and we are all innately good.
So do you think that like some of these people, it's like a slow process of like, oh, let me just like look away a little bit, and then eventually you look away more, and then you do more, and then eventually it's like you can't even recognize.
And that's why the grooming process happens, because the grooming, it's just gradual, coercion and things,
Right.
and then it just builds up.
So they're saying that there's a law firm that is representing like over 120 victims right now. What do you think about the people that are saying, what laws has Diddy really broken? Is it a crime to be a freak? Is it a crime for people to participate in these activities if they're all consenting adults?
Yeah, well, people who think like that are enveloped by a spirit that wants to maintain this whole thing. You know what I mean? And I have no more words for that. That's just fucked up. Really quickly, I want to say, because what they don't know is when people are that hypersexual and engaging in that much hypersexuality, it's actually a trauma response.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
So he was abused, and now he goes on doing that. So even a man who is promiscuous, or a man that is cheating on his wife and going off and needing new pussy all the time, it's not that he wants that pussy. It's that he feels his self-worth is at an all-time low. The way he feels about himself is at an all-time low, and he needs sources of energy to be able to feel of worth and of value. And when you go and you engage with somebody like that, you're kind of taking from their energy so that you make yourself feel better. And that's why men go and they take from women, or women, are doing the same thing too. So.
Yeah, because like it seems like from a trauma point of view, right? Like maybe he was dominated and made to feel less than, right? Because probably dominated by another man, and then how it's an ego thing where you feel like as a man, like, oh, how could I allow another man to do this to me? So the need to feel like I'm constantly dominating, proving my self-worth, proving that I am a real man, I'm very masculine, and everything. That seems like a real sensible, answer to why this might have happened over the years. But prior to us starting this interview in Texas, they just came out and were saying that there are victims as young as 9 years old right now that are coming out and talking about this. Because prior to that, people were like, I don't know why people are talking about, underage. Nothing has come out about that yet. And then all of a sudden this comes out.
People are really dumb. Like, people don't pay attention, and they don't sense. There's so many indicators. You can even see his own children. They look abused, and they're turning around and being abusers themselves.
So it's a situation of like, this is what is done to me, and I'm continuing the cycle, basically.
And the fact that people need it to come out on mainstream media and in court first before being able to sense and being able to see is the exact agenda that the powers, the powers that were, I'm not going to call them the powers that be anymore, because they're being stripped of their power. They've already been stripped of their power. This is the exact agenda that they wanted set in place, because our judicial system is so corrupt. The average American is dissecting all of this through the court system. Oh, I need evidence. I need blah, 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 blah. No, all you need is intuition. You have eyes to see, you can connect dots and you can put two and two together. You human, you are much smarter and you are much wiser than your education has told you you are. And the problem is our education system has dumbed down most humans as well.
Definitely. Our education system has made it so that like everyone is a sheep, following the herd rather than being able to think for themselves and to be able to analyze things.
Exactly.
And it's crazy to think like, because these kind of rumors have been going on for so many years, right? But it's never been validated or anything. But where there's smoke, there is fire. So for that much to come out, I don't know how you could possibly deny that. Possibly some of it is true, right?
A lot of it is true, if not all of it.
But do you think that it's possible that Diddy is guilty of a lot, but not like everything? Because like people like to jump on the bandwagon, and then with media, things like to get sensationalized. You know what I mean? And now everyone on the internet is an investigator and like over analyzing every single thing that's ever been said, and
Yeah, but we need it. We need it. They created an imbalance with all that, and now guess what? It's now tipping over on this side. So, oh well.
Do you know who Reggie Wright Jr. is?
No.
He's a former law enforcement, and he became the head of security of Death Row and even ran the label for a period of time, right? So he's very familiar with the law and everything. But he's saying that the feds aren't going to show their whole hand, like everything that they have on Diddy. So that's why like a lot of people right now, they're saying, oh, what do they even have on him? It doesn't even seem like it's a lot. But
well, the rest of what they have will expose not only the rest of the music industry and Hollywood, but our country and the entire globe too. It's all connected.
He's saying that Diddy wants to rush to trial for it to happen sooner because he doesn't want to stay locked up because, they've denied him bail twice. And he hired 2 new lawyers recently to try to make a third attempt to get bail. But Reggie doesn't think that the trial is going to happen until like 2026. So that he's going to be locked up in there for a while. It's pretty crazy. Like they're saying like that he's not eating. He's afraid he's going to get poisoned and, all this type of stuff.
Dang.
The food is moldy and he's afraid of a situation like the Epstein situation. The rumor, the alleged,
I'm sure Diddy knows Epstein didn't kill himself. I'm sure he does.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though. Like it's like people are saying that he thinks that he's going to get killed. If that's why it's also smart for him to not come out.
Oh, because he believes that Epstein didn't kill himself. Oh, I see.
Right. Yeah, like it's also smart for him to not come out and say I'm not going to come because the whole thing with Epstein, right, is that he came out and said I'm not going down alone.
Yeah.
So like he threatened like, oh, I'm going to expose other people too. Mm-hmm. So that's why they had to off him,
Yeah.
But that's just that situation is crazy.
Yes. Oh my God. Now I'm processing now.
But Reggie was saying that like it would be a mistake for him to try to rush the trial though too.
Good question. Why does he think it would be a mistake?
I think because I'm not too sure actually. I don't know. I'm not sure why he thinks that. But yeah.
Honestly, I think it's in his favor to rush the trial. Because the longer we have more waiting time, more stuff comes out. More stuff can be added to the case.
But even his Diddy's lawyer admitted that it was a mistake on Diddy's part for him to not have resolved the issues with Cassie privately because they came to him about, hey, we're going to put this lawsuit out on you, but if you could resolve it right now, like basically by just doing this. And then he said no, right? And then the lawsuit comes out. He solves it the next day. He settles it the next day. But now it's opened the floodgates for everything to come out about him.
You know what? He probably got like really prideful and like high and mighty when he was on his drugs, like and feeling on top of the world and made those decisions while on drugs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can feel like power and feel like a false sense of reality and be like, well, fuck this bitch. I'm not gonna give her any of my money.
I mean, when I talked to him on the phone, he sounded like he was on stuff,
So, and that was what year?
2015.
Dang. That's another thing that people are talking about too, that like he definitely is withdrawing right now while being
Oh,
locked
for sure.
up.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know if they have him in well, they definitely have him in protective custody, right? So he's like he has to be like alone in that cell. He can't be like with other people.
Yeah, probably. He's a celebrity. They're not gonna.
Yeah. Do you think it's unfair to Diddy to deny him a bail twice?
Not with a case like this. No.
Well, because people are arguing like, well, you allowed all these other white people that have done worse crimes.
They need to first of all stop that shit. I'm tired of this racial, low vibrational, Neanderthal-like primal state thinking. Okay? Because even I see the mainstream media now reporting, oh, well, they're attacking a successful black man. No, this is the agenda of America, people. Wake the fuck up. When you think on a racial standpoint, you are thinking as the lowest human being on earth. Literally. Epstein was in the fucking jail himself. Harvey Weinstein has been convicted. Come on, people.
They didn't have bail, right? They didn't get bail.
No.
And do you think that he is a flight risk or a danger to society if they were to allow him to have bail?
He's absolutely a danger to society.
What about a flight risk though? Because he did give up his passport like back in April or something like that.
Absolutely. You got Russell Simmons all in Bali and everyone's taking off. Of course.
Well, why do you think that he didn't choose to leave before? Like they're saying that he knew that he was going to get arrested. That's why he came back to New York.
Probably too prideful, thinking high and mighty, thinking he's got powerful enough lawyers. He's got people probably lying to him saying, I can get you out. I can take in his money. And all of a sudden now he's in fucking jail and oopsies. Sorry, we can't do it. That's what lawyers do.
Well, his lawyer is saying that he's not going to accept a plea deal. Like he wants to fight this and prove as a black man that I can defeat the feds and, Go
ahead, Diddy. More power to you.
Yeah, man.
I mean, when you're owned by them, I don't know how easy that's going to be,
So what do you think about that? Because people are saying that there's rumors that he is like an informant, a federal informant, or like,
I believe that. Yeah. The government has definitely planted people within. Hollywood was created by the CIA.
But why would they be coming after him now if he's one of them?
Because he was, an agent, part of the whole operation, and then got a little too high and mighty on himself. And they're like, okay, the whole thing that happened with Ciroc and all that. And so they decided we're going to oust you. And then also too, because Hollywood and the entire music industry is refacing itself right now, he's not a good look for the music industry anymore. Because Hollywood and the music industry is turning Christian, actually. Satanic Christian. Because Christianity is satanic, if people didn't know that.
Right. And then there's something I want to ask you later on about that too. But don't you think it's so disappointing when you look at these people that you thought maybe not idolized, but that you respected because the story is they came from nothing and they were able to succeed such great things. You know what I mean? And
I've never seen that as a respectable story because to me, that's life. You know what I mean? The fact that like everyone is here to, get opportunities and be successful and make it like, it's like, we're like, that's what humans do. So,
but you don't think that that's like inspiring for other people to see somebody make it from the trenches like that though?
Sure. I never really looked at anybody else like that. You know what I mean? I always just focused on myself and did what I did. But I'm like, oh my God, I'm so inspired because they came from the bottom and now they made it here. Now let me go and be just like them. Like, no, I didn't sing because I watched pop stars on TV singing. I grew up in church. I wasn't allowed to watch pop stars singing. I sang because I sang. I do what I do because I want to do it, not because somebody else is doing it. Like, be your own fucking human. Why do you need someone on TV that looks like you for you to be inspired? That's some bullshit. Inspiration comes from within you. Inspiration is God sent, and you are connected to that God source. You are one with God.
So you were talking about the Ciroc and DeLeon kind of situation. Dr. Umar Johnson, he's been very outspoken about the Diddy situation. And he said that if Diddy is guilty of all these things, he should definitely pay for it. But he doesn't want people to just make him guilty for something because he hasn't been found guilty or charged with the whole Cassie beating and everything, right? Because of the statute of limitations is up on that. What do you think about that?
So first off, Dr. Umar, who was funneled through Vlad TV about 7 years ago, who came out of nowhere, who is supposedly Frederick Douglass's descendant. First off, now we're dissecting this information through the corrupt judicial system. That's what we're doing. You don't have your own intuition, Dr. Umar. You can't see with your own eyes, Dr. Umar. You can't hear with your own ears, Dr. Umar. You can't sense with your own spirit, Dr. Umar. Doctor. Fuck out of here.
So you don't agree with that though? You don't think that the general public court of opinion wants him to be guilty so bad because he wasn't charged with the Cassie beating, and when we watch that video of him beating Cassie, it's like so terrible.
Bruh, we know Diddy has been doing dirt all these fucking years. What the fuck is Dr. Umar dissecting this information through the corrupt law system for? He's not even with the law system. He claims that white people run the law. So you're dissecting the information through the law that white people run that you are against? You're contradicting yourself, Dr. Umar.
So he also said that he believes all of this is over the Ciroc and DeLeon situation, right? Yeah, fan yourself. He also said that he believes all of this is over the Ciroc and DeLeon situation, and the owners of that liquor called King Charles III and asked them to call Biden for a favor. And he said that this is a way to distract black people during election time, and this is going to help Kamala. What do you think about that?
First off, Dr. Umar, American politics is Santa Claus, okay? American politics is Santa Claus. It's all fake. And really, it's just about people in place that have money that are connected to the major powers of the planet, right? Because America is not a superpower. America is ruled by the Vatican and Britain, right? So this is a bunch of fake shit here in America, right? Kamala is a fucking actor. Biden is a fucking clone, the seventh clone, maybe. You know what I mean? So let's talk about real things. You know what I mean? Because nobody is really getting elected. Okay, Dr. Umar? And people going to vote, they're not actually electing a president, Dr. Umar. And I want to ask Dr. Umar this. So he popped out with some publicity with Suki Hana at some point, Dr. Umar. And to me, that seemed like it was all staged, and it was like just marketing for something. For what? To fuse the mind of the new mind of Black America that's going to influence, because he's a doctor, right? And then fuse it with hip hop, today's current hip hop, to create a perception in the minds of our next generation. The thing is, why are you even being seen next to Suki Hana, who was twerking on a 10-year-old boy in her music video? And when I came out saying that she was twerking on a 10-year-old boy in her music video, you had all these people defending it. Oh, well, it's funny, blah, blah, blah. And then there were people who were like, oh, well, that's her son. Oh, you Neanderthal in a primal brainwave state. So pedophilia is okay as long as it's incestuous? Oh, okay.
So do you think that there is any possibility that his theory could be true about how Diddy mishandled that situation with the Ciroc and the DeLeon, that he pissed off somebody in that position of power?
Yeah, he did. He was on drugs. He's part of the Illuminati. He does sex magic and orgies, probably sacrifices kids, does all kinds of shit with Jay-Z and Beyonce. They bow down to the superpowers of the world, to the people that we don't fucking know. They go and they got to suck their dicks. They go and they got to get sodomized by them. Yeah. They're little people. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Diddy, they're little people. They ain't nobody.
Whew. Did you read the Rolling Stone article a few months back where they spoke with so many people from Diddy's past when he was going to Howard University? They said that this violent and manic behavior goes back to way back then. Like he's outside of his girlfriend's classroom, yelling at the window, demanding she come down, all types of stuff. Like
this rage stems from sexual abuse and trauma.
So you think that something happened to him even before the music industry?
I don't. It could have. I don't know that for sure, but I know for sure Clive Davis him in the ass. Because and Andre Harrell.
Yeah, because when he went to Howard University, this was before him going into the music industry. But we know that when you're abused, it tends to happen more than once, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it happens in people's childhood, and then it can pop up later on in life.
Yeah. Well, you know, a bunch of little boys in the Bronx and Mount Vernon and Harlem were getting back then, you know, from dudes in hip hop. We know this. Yeah. That were probably planted by the CIA. We know this.
So I know you got into secular music like much later because of your strict religious upbringing. So you might have missed the whole wave. But when Diddy got into trouble with the shooting at Club New York, you know, on December 27th, 1999, with J-Lo and rapper Shine, they're trying to say that it was J-Lo that allegedly snuck in the gun for Diddy.
Yeah. She was holding the weapon. That's what we've all heard all these years.
Right. But, you know, Diddy's bodyguard from way back when has said that, like, he's been around J-Lo so many times, he doesn't think that she would ever do something like that.
Which bodyguard? Jean?
Yeah, Jean.
It's possible. I mean, I don't know. She's a grimy bitch. She is.
Why? Why do you think that about her so much? Like,
dude, you can tell she's a grimy bitch. You go back to the Fly Girl auditions. You read her energy. You read her energy when she was on the show backstage. You see her life story. You know, you see her just treating people badly. All the stories I've heard from people that have worked with her, she's a terrible fucking human being. And anybody that I know that loves J-Lo is actually a terrible person too. So her fans act like her.
Now you can't put a blanket statement on all the fans. Come on.
Most of I don't know too many people that are J-Lo fans, but the very few people I do are just like her. Very rude, very just bitchy type people.
So Natanya Rubin, the victim that got shot in the face, right, has always maintained that she saw Diddy shoot her, even though he got off on the case. Not even charged with gun possession or anything, even though they found a gun in the car that they fled in. You know what I mean? Shine, who was signed to him at the time, did almost 9 years in prison and got deported back to Belize, right? And now he's a politician there trying to become the prime minister. Did you see how he said that Diddy destroyed his life?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, but it's interesting because, you know, they had their issues throughout with the time when he was in prison. He was always like, you know, you called a witness to the stand that basically said that I was the one that shot my gun and everything, you know, and we're supposed to be like co-defendants. You're supposed to be my homie, but you called a witness doing that to me, which is total disloyalty, you know, and he was always so mad about that. But when he got released from prison, they had their ups and downs. And then eventually there seemed to be forgiveness. And Diddy was always supporting him publicly, like for politics and being like, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm so proud of Shine changing his life around. He's going to become the next prime minister. You know, we got to show our support for him and everything. And there's so much, because I just did a video on them, and there's so much back and forth of, I love you, my brother. I love you, my brother, blah, 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 and everything publicly, right? And then you see them celebrating birthdays together, all these different things. And as soon as that Cassie video comes out, Shine is like, I like do not support Diddy. You guys need to stop acting like we had an intimate relationship and everything. Like this is someone who destroyed my life and that basically snitched on me and all stuff. So it was really interesting to see him in full on political mode. You know what I mean? To be like, no, what are you talking about? Like, I've never had a close relationship with him, even though we got you on quotes saying that, we were always so close. That was my brother and blah, blah, blah. It's just like,
that's not a good look at all.
Right. So it's crazy though. But I think that situation is another example of how people will basically, anytime it's convenient for them, they'll save themselves, right? And sacrifice whoever, no matter who it is.
Yep. Throw anyone under the bus.
Right.
Yep. That's human nature. Crabs in a basket,
Yeah. Another interesting thing is Natanya Rubin, the lady that got shot in the face during the Diddy situation, right? She said in an interview, Diddy has been sending all these planes to Belize to see Shine doing whatever they do. And it seemed like she was trying to insinuate like people on their packages, all types of stuff. Like, and he's like, she was saying like, you're trying to funnel people through that way. And that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I also know of, I just want to carefully say this, but I also know of people in operations, teams of people that are going down to that area and rescuing children. And they need funding right now.
I don't understand. Like, how do people not see, they not see like the child, like children being so innocent and how they can sleep at night doing the things that they do?
Well, when you become abused and you need you need source, you just do what you got to do for your own survival.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man.
And they keep putting themselves into a mental prison. With the more debaucherous actions that take place, they enslave themselves further.
And I just want to say, we're talking about things that are being put out there as public information at this time. There's not necessarily been things that are providing proof to a lot of this stuff. So, we can't say for sure, like the situation with the planes to Belize and everything. But that's crazy if that really is happening, though,
Well, I do know that people are going there to rescue children. That's for sure.
To Belize specifically? Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it's possibly why a lot of this is coming out too, because maybe operations got blown up. We're not hearing about it on the news. You know what I mean? And they got to make it look, they got to spin it a different way. And it's easier to pin all these sexual abuse allegations on women, on, overage people, but we're dealing with children now. Like that's now it's going to get a little stickier. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that human trafficking, all these things is such a big issue, right? Very underreported too. Why do you think that not more attention gets brought to it?
Because it's a big business, and the people who run the media and everything, they control all that. And if it were to be exposed, then they're done. They are literally done, and it's getting exposed, and they will be done soon enough.
So do you believe that when Trump was in office that he was putting resources towards that? Because that's what a lot of people say, that when Trump was in office, he made it a point to try to tackle that issue.
I mean, he was the first I have ever heard any president talk about human trafficking.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. Like, I never really heard anyone else really talk about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So what do you think about the situation with Mayor Eric Adams?
Oh, so, all right. So I have a feeling. Well, first of all, when did he get in office?
I don't know. He's been there for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Let me look it up real quick.
I
Hold
mean,
up.
not a long time. No, because De Blasio was right before him. So it was like, it's only been like 4 years, maybe, right?
Let's see. Oh wait, okay. It says that yeah, he was elected in the 2021 election. That's
Oh,
right.
2021.
Yeah, so
Okay.
then he didn't get sworn in until January 1st, 2022.
Okay.
So it's only been 2
So,
years.
so keep in mind, I mean, all politicians are corrupt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and the human trafficking case that came out in 2020, the Latham versus 1953 Trust with Jay-Z on it. So 1953 Trust was Jeffrey Epstein. Harvey Weinstein was the second defendant, and Sean Carter was the third. The city of New York and NYPD were also defendants in that document. So I have a feeling that he got caught up in some stuff connected to all the Diddy, Jay-Z, all that, because they all conjoin with each other. They're all connected. You know what I mean? So they seem like they're in different fields and industries, but then they actually they do what they got to do to influence the people in all these realms, and then they come together privately, you know. So I have a feeling something came out with him. So I don't know exactly what, but I think they're definitely covering him a lot more than Diddy and not allowing things to be brought forth because he's the mayor of New York City and all that. But for whatever reason, he's just kind of being put on blast too. I don't know for sure, but I have a big feeling it's connected to all of this.
Well, he's the one that gave the key to the city to Diddy, right? And it's so crazy. Like, literally, it was just last year, I believe, that you see the video of him giving the key to the city to Diddy. And then next thing you know, it's like 1 year, not even 1 year. It pretty much it's like how much can change within that span of time.
Yeah.
And then and he also gave the key to the city to Fat Joe, too.
Fat Joe.
Just
you wait, Henry Higgins. Just you wait.
You're your
from
favorite.
A movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you know, so they're saying that like he took like money from internationally to like for favors and everything. Like, so it's just really bad. The stuff that they're talking about with him.
Yeah, because all those people, their main business is selling kids and humans, passing around humans and kids between each other for the sex magic rituals and for sacrifices. That's at the top of all of this. That's what's going on.
Do you think that this will be swept under the rug more so because he's in politics, so that it's a bad look on anybody connected politically?
And a bad look for New York City.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
So like to damage control, just like a lot of times with like police, you know, like when something happens like that, it's just like silently you get pushed aside kind of thing.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So your favorite, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck get divorced. Thoughts when you heard about that?
You don't want to know my theory.
No, yeah, I do want to know. I want to know.
Oh my God. So this just popped up in my head like maybe 2 weeks ago, right? I'm like, yo, because my mind just fucking races. So I don't know. This is just a theory, people, okay? So you have major heads in Hollywood, like people that have been in families for a long time, right? And people like the Kardashians are one of those families that have been embedded in Hollywood. The Hudsons, like Goldie Hudson, Kate Hudson, Cade Hudson, the son who also claims to be Britney Spears' manager. You get people like Lou Taylor, who is the CEO of TriStar Entertainment, who is connected to the Kardashians and all of them. And I do believe that Jen Garner and Ben Affleck are also connected to them as well. So I speculate. Keep in mind, Lou Taylor is a business manager she was managing Britney Spears' stuff, right? So when $600,000 was missing from Britney Spears' estate, all of a sudden, Kylie Jenner pops up as a billionaire with $600 million extra dollars funneled into some other account that was connected to Britney Spears' stuff. So it's just funneled through companies, right? I believe Lou Taylor was or is managing Justin Bieber as well. I also heard that she was managing J-Lo for a short time, but then J-Lo cut her off, right? So I possibly speculate that Jen Garner and Ben Affleck got together with all the, Kardashians and Lou Taylor, and they're like, yo, let's try to get J-Lo's money. So they played on her needing love, Ben Affleck flies back in after Alex Rodriguez, right? Puts on this whole thing for her. Mind you, we're looking at him in all these crazy videos, looking disheveled, looking like the man is an actor, right? An Oscar winning actor. You're calculated. Why are you being seen in all these clips all over social media with J-Lo always looking disheveled and drunk and all that, and all this story about you being a drunkard or whatever? I speculate they made up this whole story, right, about him being a drunk and all this and all this. And he could possibly be a drunk, but that he got back into her life so that they could try and reel her in so that they could take over her money.
But doesn't he have a lot of money too? He's got to have more money than her, right?
Listen, Panda. People need to understand money. $1 million, especially in Hollywood, is snorted up like a line of coke.
Right.
Money comes and goes. Money is not even real. People in Hollywood are struggling more financially than us regular people. We don't know this, but they are. And there are very few celebrities that have the ability to amass a bunch of wealth. People like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Justin Bieber, Britney Spears, people of this caliber. Everybody else are bottom feeders for all of these major top few celebrities. They feed off of them.
Now, I just want to remind people that it wasn't too long ago that you said, I'm tired of seeing J-Lo in a wedding dress. Like, how many times are we going to see you in a wedding dress?
Pobrecita, man. Like, no, after I like this story just kind of like came into my mind. I'm like, dang, man, kind of feel a little bad, but at the same time, like, you shouldn't have been a bitch to people, and don't be a fucking fraud. You can't sing, bitch. Stop trying to be a fucking singer when you can't fucking sing. And then you got Stevie Mackey as your little emotional support pet, and you got him around him to make you feel good and make you feel like you can sing. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Did you see that old bit?
Sorry, I got mad.
It's all right. We like it. Did you see that old stand-up of Jamie Foxx where he talks about J-Lo being mad at him because he said that she couldn't sing? And he's like, well, was I lying? So it's crazy because, like, when you look at some of the songs that she's most known for, right? Like I'm Real and Ain't It Funny, those type of things. It's like Ashanti's voices in the background doing the backup vocals. Yeah.
You hear it loud and clear. You hear Natasha Ramos on, Jenny from the Block.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could we ever see you and J-Lo working together?
Absolutely not. No.
Even if they paid you a whole bunch of money, you would say no.
That's not going to happen. We're not of the same vibration. No, absolutely not. I work with real singers.
So you
be a real artist.
Would you you wouldn't do the reference track for her? let your vocals be the background,
I ain't doing no more reference tracks, yo.
All right. So recently you came out and spoke about the woman that tried to pimp you out, right? And you said she's now like rich and famous and amongst all the big people. You saw that your friends even follow her. And she's like this big time author, right?
Yep. She's an author. She's a publicist. She's out at all these events. She's at the UN working with UNICEF to help end world poverty.
And you were saying before, she was like telling you that she was a school teacher, right? And
when I first met her, she told me she was a school teacher. Yep.
And then for like a year and a half, she was going around saying, hey, baby, come out to the Hamptons. Yeah, it's all paid for.
So this is what happened. She invited me to hang out with her private, just me and her. So it was like girl time. You know what I mean? It was a great time because she was such a positive, lovely, lovely girl. Lovely. Oh my God. Super sweet. And is very adamant about positive vibes only. Super adamant about positive vibes, right? She's always feeling blessed, always grateful. So then I get invited to the pool party. And then that's when I was like, yo, I got to get the fuck out of here. Got the fuck out of here. And then after that, she just kept hitting me up. Oh, hey, baby, come. I have front row tickets to the Philip Klein fashion show. I said, fuck out of here, bitch. Come to the Hamptons for the weekend. Everything's paid for. Yep. Right.
So are
I'm
you
cool. I'll stay in Harlem. I'm good.
are you ever going to reveal who this person is?
I don't want to say a name only because she's not a celebrity. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be sued, but I showed her face, but showing her face is different than saying her name.
Got
But
you.
people need to know she's a Dominican girl. She's got this big curly hair. You know, her face is all fake now. She's got these really perky titties. She's got this like short torso. So her ass is like up here and it's just kind of like a weird looking body, but it looks better now after surgery and shit. So yeah, sorry, talking shit. I don't give a.
Do you think that people will look at it as you just hating on somebody?
Of course they're going to. That's why I said, I'm talking shit. I don't give a. So yeah, go ahead. I almost got sex trafficking pimped.
And you were saying before that because she had joked around saying that she did that kind of work, right? Or that she.
So my friend that she met at the event, my male friend, we exchanged stories after, and he was like, she told me that she ran an escort service. And then he was like, but then she was like, oh, I'm just kidding. Ha ha ha. So I was like, when he told me that, I was like, she's for sure running an escort service with what she's doing.
What kind of books has she written?
She wrote this one book about resetting and being mindful. All these sex trafficking hoes are all about mindfulness, breath work. They're doing ayahuasca retreats. They're about spirituality. Yeah. And they're super positive. They're about positive vibes only. And they're very blessed and grateful all the time.
Great segue, because you recently posted on your stories, Vatican Christian rapper D1 gets co-signed by Jay-Z's new girlfriend, Kendrick Lamar. What did you mean by that? You got something against Kendrick now? Like, what is going on?
Yo, Kendrick is about to do the Super Bowl, and he's like, Jay-Z's got him right under here. Right. Jay-Z's f***ing that dude in the fucking ass, and he's done. Kendrick can suck my.
What?
Yes. Everyone needs to stop worshiping these people. This is how it happens. You don't fucking think. This human trafficker is taking this little motherfucker under his wing, putting him on the Super Bowl, one of the biggest fucking ceremony satanic rituals of the year, and then trickling down to now co-sign this Vatican satanic Christian rapper. People don't know how to connect dots.
So in no way do you think that somebody like Kendrick just worked his way up to the position that he's in?
He worked his way up to a certain point and then decided to get fucked in the ass so that he could get on top. Of course.
So you think that doing the Super Bowl is that big of a deal that somebody would switch over to do something like that?
Look. All you have to do is look at anyone who's corporately owned. It's simple. It's that simple. D1 is owned by, he's under Sony Music, and he goes to Harvard. He is the perfect candidate to be ushered into this Skull and Bones secret society.
So
the perfect candidate.
So D1 has represented a lot of positivity, right? Like a lot of what he's doing is talking about, you know, in rap, you shouldn't be talking about these things. He's upset other rappers like Rick Ross and, you know, and he's still shown love to them, but saying like, yo, you guys are still my brothers. I just don't agree with what you guys are talking about. So you think that positivity is all a ploy?
Yep. Well, he came with that vibration, right? And now that Hollywood and the music industry needs to reface itself, he is the next perfect. Keep in mind, Black China got saved last year, became a Christian, went to seminary, is now like a legitimate like minister. Black China, who had human trafficking allegations right before that. And all of a sudden they were wiped clean. And all of a sudden she became this minister now and she's super Christian. So Hollywood has been refacing itself for a while now. And so D1 is the perfect candidate. Like I said, he is corporately owned. He's under Sony Music. That's his parent company. He goes to Harvard. We're talking about Rockefeller indoctrination. We're talking about the people who go to Harvard are the predators of of America. You know?
I thought D1 was independent, wasn't he?
No, he's not. He's under, you can Google that shit right now. He was, but guess what? Now the corporations took over. Now he's a fucking corporate slave. So if you're not paying off Sony, then I don't care what the fuck you're doing. You're on their side as far as I'm concerned. You're on that whole tip. You know what I mean? So he ain't. And then on top of it, I just want to read the lyrics because I listened to one of his songs yesterday. I just one. It's all I needed. I was like, yo, this it's trash. First of all, it sounds like a fucking trap song from 2006 that I found at a mixtape shop in Grand Rapids, Michigan, right? And then the positive message is, now the message needs to start to elevate, right? We need to start to, because we've talked about the streets enough. We know that talking about murder and shit is not good. Duh. Let's elevate. But no, he's there to perpetuate the Christianity and the racial divide. So because America has now become black, Christianity still has to control black America, right? Because religion keeps everything in place and in order. And then you maintain the divide by inserting the racial rhetoric. So he's here. Y'all done turn this culture trash. These so-called legends ain't no legends, blah, blah, blah. I don't care if they still million doing here in their message. Poison in our whole community, everybody hypnotized. Like, we know this, okay? You're not saying anything new, D1. Why you think nobody respect black people? No big surprise. Okay, so now you are continuing to feed our youth and telling them that nobody respects you. Stop feeding them that shit. What I want to tell my youth, all the youth of America, is that you are respected, you are seen, you are loved, right? But we're perpetuating this mentality. Call it like it is. I love New Orleans, my city, but I love God way more. I don't care if none of y'all with me. Okay. First of all right, that's fine. But hold on. We celebrate being stupid and everybody's so gangster. Okay. We know this, but when you clock in for that white man, you be up on your best behavior. Sir, you go to Harvard. You stay clocked in for the white man, sir. You're owned by Sony. You are owned by the white man. So what the fuck are you talking about? And then that's it. I'm powered by God, whatever. And we going to be all right. That's what Kendrick Lamar said. So he re-shouted out Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z's girlfriend.
Okay, but his recent album, Uno, debuted at number 4 in the world on Apple Music, iTunes, hip hop charts, right? And he says 100% independent. That's what he says.
Can you Google him being owned by Sony Music, please? What a fucking liar. Now you claim to be a fucking Christian and you a fucking liar too, bro? You. I'll show you right now. I'll pull this shit up right now.
I'm looking. I don't see anything with Sony.
I'll show you. It's the parent company. He's under RCA Inspiration, which is a gospel label. The parent company of RCA Inspiration is Sony Music. Thank you. Owned by Sony. If you ain't writing a check to Sony, then you're owned by them. You are owned by the white man. So stop feeding the bullshit to these kids. Because we know the American education system is all bullshit anyway.
So what is the point? What do you think that he's doing? Like what are they trying to do with him? Like they're trying to use him as like
he's because they're refacing the music industry in Hollywood, so it has more of a positive Christian vibe. But while the positive Christian vibe is still going on, kids are still being sacrificed behind closed doors. Get it? And actually Christianity and all the child sacrifice comes from that too. We're talking about the Vatican. They've been sacrificing kids at the Vatican. And people don't realize that all Christian denominations are under the Vatican. They're Vatican ruled. Your average Christian doesn't know that. And actually your average pastor doesn't even know that. They just pay their dues to their denomination, but they don't know that that denomination is ruled by the Vatican, the U.S. corporation. Hello?
Well, I think we need to give a little round of applause for that. We like when Tina gets real spicy during the interview. That passion.
Oof.
So as usual, I'd like to go through some of your threads. Okay. You don't have a Facebook, okay. Do you?
No, it's kind of just dead. It's like, yeah.
So first one. My ladies at the gym with the tiny thin shorts up your ass crack. what is your objective in this establishment? What's wrong
Yo,
with that? What are you trying to simply, what they try to simply motivate the men, you know what I mean, that are working out behind
men are not. I mean, I guess it can motivate the men. I don't know. I'm just like, I just don't like it. I find it offensive.
Wait, are you,
Like, it's not.
would you consider yourself a feminist?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, but
I'm a humanist.
don't you think that women should be able to wear what they want in certain ways? You know what I mean?
Women need to be smart and don't wear thin ass little shorts that are up your fucking ass crack in the gym. Like, there's a time and a place for everything. You want to be like clothingless? Go to the beach. You know, you want to be sexy? Learn how to do it in a balanced way. But I'm like, where did all these little NPC hoes start coming out of the woodworks wearing chucks and like little panties in the gym? I don't like it.
I think it started with like yoga being really, popular and everybody wearing those really tight pants that leave very little to the imagination, right? Then it's just evolved and transformed to like something even more now. It's like,
Yes.
It's like you can see the camel toe, you can see like everything.
You're literally looking at the naked body, but just with like, you know what I mean?
But what's even crazier is like, I would think that they would feel a little embarrassed, especially if they're an Instagram girl getting filmed working out and everybody in the gym can see that they're doing that. Like, that's crazy. Don't you think so? Like,
Yeah. Oh, they've gotten called out for that. People have gotten called out. Like, there have been girls like that go and take like sexual content or whatever. And like, that's why I'm just like, I'm like, don't you know? And they don't know. They don't know the brain chemistry of a man. The thing is, men are so desensitized nowadays. So I guess, it is what it is. I'm just like, yo, you look like trash with that. Like, go put some fucking clothes on, little bitch. I'm sorry. That's just my personal opinion. You don't like it. You don't like it. Oh, well, it's my thing.
do you think that overall that influences society even more and how men look at women because of that? Because of this popular culture of doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, and it's the imbalance. So we're too covered. Muslim men don't want their women to be seen. You create hypersexuality that way, and then hypersexuality this way. We need balance. We need to come to the middle.
And Instagram and social media makes it so much worse because they're really pumping this stuff to the point you get desensitized for real.
Yeah, I feel like it's decreased a lot, though. Would you say that? Like, the Instagram hoes are not like popping anymore.
I think it's still
maybe
pretty
you're a man,
there.
so your algorithm is different.
It's still pretty up there, I would say.
Okay.
And people pushing their OnlyFans and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird though. I just think that like it's like you said, men especially have become desensitized to it because it's like before you would be really like kind of when you see something less, right? It's a little more special. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, oh, beautiful woman. Yeah. But it's like now everywhere you turn, it's like, I don't think that it's natural for men to be able to consume this much of it. You know what I mean? Like it's
way too much. Everyone's overstimulated, overstimulated and desensitized, which creates a subordinate society. Makes everybody docile too. They don't understand how that affects the brain.
Which is, if you believe in programming and conditioning, is what they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want us to be distracted by our phones and seeing all this stuff, the terrible things that people post on social media, even outside of the sexualization, all the traumatic things that you see people post. And we become, as a society, just desensitized to everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So let me ask you this. So when a woman is in a relationship, do you find it disrespectful when they wear very revealing clothing when they go out without their man?
I think, without their man? Yeah. I mean, really, that is up to two people and their agreement on whatever they do. You know what I mean? But really, a woman that is receiving enough love from her divine masculine is going to be in a balanced state and is probably not going to conduct herself in that way.
So like if you're going out with your girls, right? You guys are going to the club or whatever to get some drinks and stuff. Are you wearing revealing, like very revealing clothing?
Well, first off, I don't go to the club. I don't have too many girls. I like my family are my friends. I have cousins.
I kind of realized that after I asked the question. I'm like, I don't know if this is a good one to ask.
It's okay, but people need to know this about me. You know what I mean? Because like when people are like, oh, I keep my circle small. Like, no, like I truly keep my circle small. You know?
I kind of picked up on that vibe.
And I'm an empath, so I can't be around, like if I'm like just too many energies is way too much for me. I'm feeling all of your emotions and everything now. And it's like, ooh, I need a lot of time to myself.
I hear you say that a lot, that you're an empath, right? So when you go out in public, is it very overwhelming for you because you feel everybody's energy?
It can be. And it has, I'm learning to balance that more and to actually guard my own space and energy. But like prior to this year, I'm finally learning how to protect myself. Prior to this year, it was, it's mad social anxiety because I'm feeling it all. And then I can feel people's what they're thinking and all, like it's way too much.
I feel you. All right. This next one, okay, from your threads. If men realize how connected one's love life is to one's finances, we would probably see more men stepping up to the plate. Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." This is a literal universal formula that is guaranteed and proven. Divine union activates and amplifies abundance. A powerful divine feminine can make you a
millionaire.
A what?
Nanillionaire.
Sorry. Don't sleep on the power of women, men.
Yes.
So elaborate on that. Yeah.
Okay. So, we in the macrocosm of our universe, we have this creative source that has two polarities, right? One represents the masculine, one represents feminine, because in the microcosm on Earth, we have man and woman come together and they procreate, right? So it's the same thing. It's a similar structure in the macrocosm of the universe. And then it comes down between man and woman, right? So that's how through the centrifugal force, what, even Terrence Howard has been talking about and all that, it's just like a battery, right? You have negative on one side, you have positive channel on the other. The negative is actually the masculine energy, not saying that negative is bad. People need to start to understand this from a more scientific standpoint. So the negative is the drawing in, the masculine, the drawing into the energy, and in the chamber, the energy is transmuted, and the feminine energy, the positive side, pushes that out. So now that battery becomes super powered up, and it activates anything that it's in, right? So when man, and this is a formula in our microcosm on Earth, when man and woman in divine union come together, and they're equally giving to each other, providing what woman doesn't have herself, she gets from man, and vice versa. And they start to exchange that energy. Now you create this abundant flow and this vortex, and you pull everything to you.
But you have to be really good in your relationship. You have to be loyal to your woman.
It's got to be even flow. It's got to be even flow. Otherwise, you're gonna have an energy blockage in the battery. You know what I mean?
So, what advice then do you have for men that are experiencing issues then? So you're saying find one woman, be loyal to her, stay off IG and these IG hoes and stuff like that. And like,
it's to try to tell a man to stay away from hoes, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? That's like taboo, and then they're going to want to do it even more. Yeah. A man has to come to his own understanding, full healing within himself, and to be in a vibration high enough to not even want to do that. So a man can ascend to a level where he literally only has eyes for his divine feminine and nothing else.
What's the best advice that you can provide for a man to reach that level?
Work on yourself. Start clearing your trauma. Learn about yourself. Learn your weaknesses. Know your strengths. And start to create that union, the masculine and the feminine divine union within yourself first. And once you do that within yourself, then you'll find your divine counterpart and you two come together and light it up. This is why Jay-Z wanted to fabricate this whole union with him and Beyonce, because it's that perception, because he knows that. And guess what? It did create money. It created more revenue for them. And he knew that, but he just fabricated it.
Mm. She's giving great advice, guys. I hope you guys are listening. You know, I know sometimes people just think that she's crazy, but you know, she talks some real shit a lot of times, man. You brought up Terrence Howard. Now, I know in more recent years, people have really looked at him as crazy. The stuff that he talks about kind of seems like really out there, right? But if you know, you know. So what do you think happened to him? Because he was like, there was a period of time in the 2000s where he was like in so many movies, like it was crazy, right? What do you think happened to him to make him have this shift?
I have two different theories. One, he actually, ascended and got all these downloads and revelations and started to not even want to dabble in Hollywood anymore because it's so low vibrational. Or they have been preparing for this time to, because they knew all this information was going to be coming out. They've known that humans are ascending, Earth is ascending. It's the age of Aquarius, the age of light. More knowledge and information is being spread throughout the earth. So it could have been just prepping because now he's kind of coming back out. And the CIA knows how to create, a whole, what looks like, and now so back in the day, programming happened through like sitcoms, TV shows, variety shows like that. But now the new kind of programming is podcasts and social media and all that. And that's what's taking precedence over, even Netflix shows now.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I think he could have, it's just been, a plan that's been a long time coming, because now he's getting together with Billy Carson. And the thing is, I was like, just by myself one day, I was like, just in bed, and it hit me. I was like, yo, I was actually by the ocean. So I have a feeling that being by the water helped that. But I was like, I correlated the two because Terrence Howard was talking about the epicenter of all of creation from this 0 point energy centrifugal force, right? And then Billy Carson talks about says that we are created by the Anunnaki. Now, the thing is, that could be a lie, the fact that we were created by the Anunnaki. So if Terrence Howard is saying that creation comes from the 0 point energy, pure consciousness, and the centrifugal force, then why is Billy Carson saying that we were created by the Anunnaki and that our DNA was tampered by the Anunnaki, right? So what I believe is that mankind actually came from the dust of the earth, like the Bible says, but from the centrifugal force, this consciousness, and all these particles that are coming together to comprise matter. So I haven't really been listening to their conversation lately, but then after I had this thought and this download, all of a sudden they were being put together on podcasts, and I was like, oh shit, what's happening here? So even though a lot of good information is being put out, knowledge or whatever, there could be little lies that are trickling in. You know what I mean? So if we're being told that we were created by the Anunnaki, then we're being lied to. And that's now, they're fooling with our identity. So if we were to know that we were actually this pure godlike source, that we came from the centrifugal force, then we would know our power. The thing is, the Anunnaki, what I speculate is the Anunnaki came down, like in Genesis, it said they made man. It said, let us make man in our image. So who was talking? Of course, in the Bible it says, the Trinity. But could it have been the Anunnaki saying, let's tamper with mankind that's already existing because we see them evolving, and let's now enslave them and make them our slaves, and then everything just continued to evolve for millions of years. So I don't know. That's just my little speculation.
Okay. We got to back up a little bit, okay?
I know,
because it's the audience, it's not everyone's as enlightened. So who is the Anunnaki?
Okay, so the Anunnaki is an alien race that supposedly has been enslaving us. So you go back to Egyptian hieroglyphics, you see the Anunnaki in hieroglyphics and all that.
Mm-hmm. And so you're saying that Billy Carson is saying that we came from them.
Billy Carson says that that we were created by the Anunnaki.
Okay. And Terrence Howard is saying that we came from consciousness, basically.
No, he's not. Terrence Howard is just talking about creation from basically 0 point energy, right? I'm just making the correlation
Got you. Okay.
Because before those two were put together, I got this download about these two and their messages simultaneously, but they weren't put together yet. And then after I had this thought process, then I see them all of a sudden being put together. So I'm like, what's going on here? Are little lies being slipped in with truth?
So Terrence Howard, at one point, he said that he was retiring from acting, right? Do you think that this is something that is fake, that he's coming out and talking about this?
That's what I'm saying.
Stuff?
That's what I'm saying, because it could be that like the CIA was like, hey, we need you to switch up your role and we need you to be this person for the next wave of the age of Aquarius because humanity is elevating and we need you here now.
So you don't think that there's any possibility that he might have experienced something and wanted to get away from that?
That's possible too. I'm throwing out stuff right now.
Gotcha.
You know,
okay.
And for this right now, I'll leave a margin of error. These are just theories that I have come across my mind. Mm-hmm. In 2020, I actually had a dream that I was dating Terrence Howard. We were living in this like big white Victorian house, and we were just sharing like knowledge and information in the dream.
Wait, so then like, did he like talk to you like, hey man, what's going on with your mind? You know, Tina mind, you know me mind. I need some love in mine.
That's pretty good.
Yo,
we gotta get you on a show, Panda.
This is a great segue to you saying recently too, I love how the conscious spiritual community shits on material objects and wealth. Little do we realize the material is spiritual and a reflection of your vibration. Everything is in constant vibration, everything. So what did you mean by that?
Well, you know, you have the spiritual community that's so caught up in just like, oh, we just want to be in the fifth dimension and like, you know, transparent and, you know, with wings and be angels again. And we don't need money. We don't need this. We just need rivers with water. And we just like, I mean, yeah, in a sense that is true. The thing is, we've evolved to this state, right? And we're all learning how to manifest. But even more so, the next wave is materialization. And because we're comprised the same way this piano is. So because this piano is vibrating at certain particles, and it might not seem like it, but I manifested this piano. So this piano is actually a reflection of my vibration and what I want to see surrounding my life and the beauty, the tones and the beautiful music that comes from it. You know what I mean? So if you look at it from that standpoint, and those who are materializing, you know, lower vibrational things, like you see that's their vibration, the reflection of their vibration.
Do you think that the spiritual conscious community has a level of toxicity to it? And also it's become so popular over the years that it's been used in certain ways to, you know, actually do the opposite.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what they're doing now. Deepak Chopra, if you listen to it, it sounds all nice and positive, and he talks about breath work and all. Breath work is great. I'm not knocking that. Of course, I need to learn that. You got to slip in truth with the lies. But if you really like dissect what he's saying, he's not saying anything. It's like mumbo jumbo, and it's just a bunch of nice words put together.
Yeah, you put out a threads about that too recently, right? You were saying that everybody, I forgot who listens to this type of stuff.
Yeah, because you're like, it's your vibration. So if you're like, it's just inauthentic. And if you're inauthentic like that, you're going to be attracted to that. Mm. But some people do evolve past that, because you might be in a certain vibration, right? You might be attracted to that because authentically you're trying to elevate, you want to get there, but then you realize, oh wait, and then you just keep elevating and ascending from that standpoint.
So then continuing on, you said, I continue to see the spiritual conscious community slipping deeper into fear of food, money, government, etc. I choose to live and have fun again. The mind is all, and the all is mine. Perfect love casts out all fear. Yeah.
So like, I know the CIA is doing all kinds of dirt against us. I know we're being programmed and brainwashed and poisoned all day. I know that I have this information. I have this data here, but I can compartmentalize it, and I can manifest a better life for myself, rise above that, because that's just a program in the matrix. And it's important for us to talk about it because it's a mental trap. But aside from that, I still have to live in the matrix, right? I still have to live in this material world, in this physical plane. And a lot of the spiritual community, I see a bunch of people trying to sell their products and their Shilajit and their CMOS and everything. But right before they're trying to sell their product, they're using a fear tactic, like salesman fear tactic. Oh, you're drinking, you're eating this, you have parasites in your body and you're going to die in 10 years. But if you drink my Shilajit, then you'll have the best health and you'll be in higher consciousness and raise your vibration. And like, come on, man. The universe is mental. The thing is, if we realize we could recode, it's just very difficult. You just have to have the mind for it. You don't got the bandwidth for the data, you can't do it. But if you do, you could actually recode McDonald's to be healthy for your body. It's all mental. I know that sounds crazy. The average person can't do it, but it's possible.
Because the spiritual community, I feel like at times they're so consumed. Like you said, like you compartmentalize it, right? So like you're aware of all these things, but it doesn't make your whole life. Like when you make something all the time, you're worried about this, you're talking about this is bad, this is that, this is bad. It becomes too much. And that, those strong emotions can cause more damage to you personally.
Yes. And I was going through that for a while. And that's why I've toggled with like, oh man, I'll stop speaking about this. But like it happened kind of like overnight. And it was a download I got, just the ability to be able to compartmentalize it to now. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm like, wait, so I can still speak about this, but it doesn't have to affect me. It doesn't have to trickle over. And I don't have to correlate the fact that the music industry is satanic and you got to do this, but I can actually materialize and manifest a music career for myself on the flip side. So I'm starting to think a little bit more positively in that sense,
And then you went on and said, poverty is a low vibration. We are all one without separation. And one's own righteousness is as filthy as rags. What did you mean by that?
Because the spiritual community likes to shit on wealth. And, they want to put down money. So, and Christians used to do this too, like back in the day, not anymore, but like, it was like a sign of virtue to be moneyless. You know what I mean? Like you have money. Oh, you're concerned about the material things of the world. I'm concerned about heaven and the afterlife. And that's really just self-righteousness. Even the Bible says your own righteousness is as filthy rags. So it's pointless. You know what I mean?
So I wanted you to touch on something that seems very important to you and that a lot of people don't talk about, money manifestation, eradicating poverty, and vortex-based mathematics, because I know that you've said that it's all intertwined.
Yes. So, you have people out here, people in government that are claiming to be eradicating poverty from the planet, but they're doing nothing. So this is from what I've learned. Now, I have studied Bob Proctor, and I tell you, if you can go and listen to the man, go and do it. He teaches you how to shift your paradigm. And money manifestation is not necessarily about money itself, but it's about learning how to shift your paradigm. And then now we're stepping into materialization. So first off, our mathematics is false. Our money value system is built on a false mathematics, Common Core. So Common Core, we know 1 + 1 = 2. But we have vortex-based mathematics. And vortex-based mathematics, 1 + 1 = 3. You take two humans, they procreate, they produce a third. This is the true mathematics of the universe. It also teaches us that there is no larger number in the universe than 9. After 9, what do we get? We get a 1 and a 0. So numbers, it tells us that numbers are recycled. It also teaches us the Fibonacci sequence 369, which Tesla used for his coil. We're heading now to 0 point free renewable energy. So when we start to understand the true mathematics, we can now formulate our mentality, even though we're still under Common Core and our value system in this matrix system is under Common Core. We can apply vortex-based mathematics mentally, understand it, develop it, learn that we can tap into abundant flow at all times and that there is no lack. And really the point is you are born an abundant person. You are never without. The thing is when we come into this world, we are taught that there is scarcity. We are taught that there is lack. So we remove those limitations from our mind, that there is no scarcity, there's no lack, even though the news is reporting poverty, even though the news is saying that these rates are going up, people are losing their homes, tune out of it. Tune out of that whole brainwashing program and start to feed yourself information. And then Bob Proctor's affirmation, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. And then you start to now receive more and more and more. And then the more people that learn this mentally, we start to now eradicate poverty. The more and more that spread, because then people start to learn for themselves. You know, the saying, you give someone a fish, you feed them for a day. You teach someone to fish, you feed them for life. Right. So this is what needs to be taught in schools, is this vortex-based mathematics. And really our entire, I don't know when that's going to happen, but our money value system will come down, and it's going to be replaced with a quantum financial system that is going to be based more on vortex-based mathematics. And what this will do is it will create more even flow and disperse energy among humans and the planet properly. And then people will start to develop mentalities on how to exchange energy properly with each other. And it's just going to be more of a utopian society. So through mentality, this is how we start to eradicate poverty. When governments are claiming that they're eradicating poverty, but they're only using physical means, they're using more dollars, fake money to pretend that they're eradicating poverty when they're really just selling kids across the globe.
You actually have hope that a society, a utopian society, is possible, even with the powers that be? They would allow that?
I have more than hope. I have more than hope. I know. I have foresight. I see into the future. I can see it and I can smell it even more.
So the people that thrive off of the negativity and the evil work and everything, what will they do then when that situation happens, when that reality becomes?
Well, right now, some people are fleeing the planet. Some species and energies, they're actually leaving the planet. And galactic council, people are coming into play and being put in position right now. And so it's gonna gradually happen. It's gonna start to get better. Mark my words.
So you don't think that the idea that we're all going to end up destroying this planet is actually going to happen?
That's a possible timeline. Yeah, because we live in a multi-dimensional reality. So in one timeline, that could absolutely happen. But in my timeline, not on my watch. Sorry.
I love the positivity, though. You know, I do. What do you say to the people that aren't there yet to fully understand what you're saying when you're talking about these specific techniques and philosophies?
First off, I've said this once before, understand your identity, who you are as a spirit being. You are first and foremost a spirit being. You possess a soul, which consists of your mind, your will, and your emotions, and you simply live in this vessel that carries you through this experience.
Are you thinking about possibly starting a master class or something like that to help teach this to people?
No, man. I want to be on tour. I want people to come to my shows. This is what I do at my shows. I give people life. I speak messages. I love on people in my shows. People don't even know, man. I want to give everybody all the power that they can have in the world. I teach people how to manifest, and through music and being on stage, I send out a powerful vibration to people that uplifts them. And that's what I want to do.
And this makes you really emotional. What about it makes you so emotional?
I'm just an emotional being, but it's my purpose, and it's what God has instilled in me to do. And because I had to face so many hurdles, and I'm pushed aside, and I'm kept back from it, it's like this pent up energy in me.
And what do you foresee has to happen in order for you to be able to accomplish that?
Well, I don't think anything else has to happen. It's happening as we speak. So just get ready.
Get ready. All right. All right, Tina. Another one for the books. I want to thank you for your time. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people before we wrap it up?
No. I just want to thank you for creating this platform, for sticking up for us underdogs. You know what I mean? Even for somebody like Cuban Link, and giving us a fucking voice and a platform. So thank you. And I'm sorry for getting emotional. I know people don't like seeing people cry, but can't help it.
Well, they're used to seeing you yell and go off. So I think that they'll like seeing a different side to you too, though. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I cry mostly because I want to see this planet level up, and I want to see poverty, sickness, and disease completely annihilated and eviscerated from planet Earth.
You heard it here first, man. Tina is definitely trying to do great work out here. She's not just exposing your favorite rapper or yelling all the time, okay? She actually comes from a very good space, man.
Thank
And
you.
I'm very happy to have reached out to you that first time and asked you to do the interview. And I was very surprised that you said yes.
I was like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very easy too. You were just like, yeah, let's go. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, and then this is interview number 5 that we're on right here.
Dang.
So yeah, so
wow.
we've been doing a lot of work. So thank you again, Tina. Thank you so much.
All right.
And we'll see
Thank
you
you,
on
Panda.
the next one.
All right. Sounds good.